She wanted to debate me.
I debate.
And stated that Mr. Bill Cosby didn't deserve time because I said he did after drugging women for their vaginas.
So I said that these women are adult women that are of age to make choices about their vaginas and about where they put the vaginas with these men. Maybe he shouldn't be slipping them Spanish fly in their drink. Right. That's different, but a lot of those women came willingly to a hotel at night with a man who was married, who's a celebrity, who had money. So it's not what you do, it's the intention of. So what was your intention when you went there? Because I'm not going to go see Bill Cosby and think that I'm not going to take off my panties for Bill Cosby if I'm in a hotel room with him. Because he doesn't want my conversation.
How you know that?
Because he wants my panties. Because we know this.
How do you know this?
Joe Schmo on the corner want my panties. So why would Bill Cosby want my panties? Like, why? So saying
Bill
that
Cosby has more to offer you than Joe Schmo.
He had more to offer. Bill Cosby knew he had the dollars. He had probably a schlong. Nobody said Bill Cosby wasn't packing. Probably a nice packing young man back in the days. And he was interesting. Black with money was a big thing. These women were consensual adults. They weren't like children. I have an issue when men take advantage of children. But I have another view on it when they're grown-ups putting themselves in places. I'm not saying because your dress was short, you should get raped. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, don't go to hotels and expect nothing to happen. Like, we're adults. We know. We have good sense.
So,
was he raping these girls in the club in the bathroom? Oh.
No, he wasn't.
They were going to hotel rooms with this guy.
Okay.
No,
she's in there?
She's in here.
All right.
Sorry guys, we got like so much going on around us. Anyway, just to piggyback off of to debate Miss Ayana. I've been in situations where I went to hotels without going to fuck.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was a Bill Cosby or something less than that. I think sometimes you are invited to hang out. And if I'm coming to hang out, you offer me a drink, and anytime you put something in my drink, that then becomes rape. You're taking advantage of me. That's not me willingly giving you up my vagina for you to do things to me. Yes, I hear you when you say put yourself in places, but at the same time, it's also like this is probably why victims don't come out, because of conversations like this that we're having, and people assume, well, shit, what the fuck are you doing in a hotel? Going to fucking hang out. Because I'm going to a hotel, don't mean I'm going to go be a hoe. I'm going to go throw my whole ass in a circle. So, that doesn't give you the right to drop liquid something in my drink to now have me turned on to you when I wasn't even turned on.
But the liquor going to make you drunk too.
Yes. No, I can go for a glass of wine. For conversation,
and I get it. We've been to hotels and stuff.
I think even if you're in the place, right? It's also what you're expressing. People can still have my body language. That doesn't mean that I wanna fuck.
So I feel like this. So I feel like if he was making you uncomfortable before the Spanish fly or the drink had occurred, and you weren't there feeling comfortable, you should remove yourself.
Agreed. In that instance.
Right. And I think I've been to a hotel too, but it was like group hotel fun. Like it wasn't like me and some guy talking about I'm being in a room and come check me and hang out. Maybe for you that works, but I'm like, really? Anytime he wants to check me to hang out, there's some extra shit happening. There's extra showering, extra cute panties, there's extra everything about that, because in my mind, I know that there's some extra shit that might happen at this hotel because it can happen. This is the environment that I'm in.
Reality.
Yeah,
the restaurant.
Right.
Yeah.
In the restaurant is different. Like in the restaurant and you Spanish fly me and took me to the bathroom, you know, I feel different.
Oh, that's right. I feel
like you
said the hotel is not rape.
No, I feel like you put yourself.
I mean, it is rape, but you just said it was a hotel.
I'm not taking away from the incident. Let me say that I'm not taking away from it not being wrong. I'm taking away from time and place, and that if you probably weren't there in that hotel, like really, because I'm confused about the intention of why are you going to a hotel with a married man? It confuses me. And then I'm going to talk from the standpoint of being in a situation where also I know the lies that the prosecutor. No, I want to just take it off of Bill Cosby. And I want to tell you the lies that these people tell to make their case stand strong.
Of course.
Because I can tell you from being on the inside on a different situation personally that they will create you to be a monster. Right. So I'm conflicted because I've been on two sides. So I can see where someone can turn me into a monster, and I'm looking at them like, but what the hell? So I can kind of understand, you know. So it's hard for me. It's as a woman, and as a woman that has had violation to her as well. It's hard to stand in this position and be like, well, I don't think you should be in prison, because people look at me like, but you fresh and you're a woman. I am, but I'm like, the intention behind these women going to a hotel with a married man at night, drinking or whatever you were doing. It confused. It puts me in a place where
I don't
like
think everything occurred at night though.
no, okay, even in the day. Why are we going there? Like, why are we going there? Like, I just wanted to really know, why were you going? You just thought he was going to sign you and you were going to be like a celebrity?
It might be, this is what I guess if you're meeting him in a listen, I'm not taking up.
No, I get it.
For anyone. Because at the end of the day, of course, I'm a woman first, but right is right and wrong is wrong. Time and place. If you're a celebrity, you probably don't want to be seen. This is probably where you're staying. You're in a different state.
True.
This is your only convenience to meet. Right?
True.
It could be your only convenience to meet. It could be like a certain time. Had it to me, okay, cool, run up, come meet me, let's talk, whatever. In the intro,
go to the business center.
but he was dropping shit in they drink.
I'm not saying this right. I think it's wrong that he dropped stuff in their drink. I definitely agree. Like
so you don't think people won't get jail for it?
But I don't know if it was jailish. Like I've seen men do a lot worse and not go to jail for the shit. Like
this is true.
Why is it? Is it because he's black with money? It makes me really
that's a big part.
Upset because I'm like, you targeting first beginning. If you guys weren't aware that he was about to like buy into NBC, right? So I feel like it was just a big political.
No, I think
like it was something bigger than us, and it was so big, and they made him look so bad. And I'm like, he's 95. His dick doesn't even get up anymore. Nobody even fucking cares. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Like, why is R. Kelly still not? Why is R. Kelly not in jail? Like that. I'm saying that. To say R. Kelly is not as influential and doesn't have as much money as Cosby does, but he's still around and he's fucking little girls.
That's because women are bailing him out.
Yeah, but he's fucking little girls, man. And that's the problem.
But then look at these victims that they're even talking about. They're blaming the little girls. They're not saying everything.
And I'm never going to sit here and be blaming no child for a grown man taking advantage of someone who. What is her intention? Maybe it's to dance. Maybe it's to sing. Maybe it's to get signed by R. Kelly. Like, we don't know. Is it really just popless for R. Kelly? I don't know that because these are little kids.
A lot of their parents put them in that situation.
Yeah, and then we question these parents. Like, what are you really doing? But they're kids. Like, R. Kelly has to be accountable for that.
K. Michelle was on an interview the other day. I don't know if you guys are aware. He kind of like supported her with her career and everything like that. So she pretty much, everybody's like, why aren't you saying something? And she just like, you know, coming into the industry, he was the only person that supported me wholeheartedly. He didn't go against the grain. He believed my story he believed her when she was abused, when no one else did, and they made fun of it. He was the only one that actually supported her. So for her, she's like, you know, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, but how do I tell on the one person that actually had my back the entire time?
But they didn't have anything sexual?
No, never had anything sexual. But it was like a brother. He was like a big brother. And he, you know, he helped out. He made phone calls. He did everything possible just to give her a boost. And she owes her career, some of it to him. So they asked her, like, what is your role in this? And she's just like, you know, I did see things. And I did have conversations offline. Like, she directly spoke to the women that he was with, their parents and things of that nature. She said she did have a conversation with him. But like she never spoke to the tabloids about him. She never wants to throw him like under the bus because of which I can understand. But at the same time, you're also right now you have a woman carrying surrogate. You have a surrogate who is now birthing a daughter for you. So in that sense, it could be yours.
Wow. People have to really think about what they feel indebted to people, and that's my issue. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people feel indebted to people about such shitty shit. Like, I feel like if I say something, I save a kid, I save a child.
Right.
Like, you kind of feel obligated because I don't know.
These are kids.
These are kids.
But then again,
I don't feel indebted to you.
But as I said, the parents were like Kate Michelle said too. Their parents were there. The parents were washing clothes. They were cooking. They were drinking wine. They were doing anything to get their kids. So basically,
and if your kid is under 18, you're responsible. You should know where your kids are at all times.
Wow.
So I'm not mad at her per se. After I heard the story, it's more so like the parents are right there. So you're selling your soul and your kids just to get ahead. And where are these kids?
Because I'm gonna say something. I wish we could charge the parents sometimes because I feel like if we start charging parents for some of the neglect and the real things that are happening, then parents would maybe we hope pay more attention, be more responsible.
But that's sick to me that you were not even.
Because as the parent, you are the
child
protector. You are the one that the child should look up to. You are the one that is the one supposed to make your child safe. Like, that's your job. Right?
They saw it as a money pit. They saw it as a way of getting ahead.
Really? So
but then again, it's like, so of course.
Mm-hmm.
But where are your kids now? So you did all of that, and where are your children now? Well, you're in a house. You got a car. I give you those. How long does these things last? That you are allowing a man to rape, because that's rape. You're allowing a man to rape your underage child and pee on them. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say this, and there's a lot of underlying things that are happening. Most mothers with those issues come from another place with other issues. So there was some that says it all the time. What? Unresolved issues.
Yeah, unresolved issues. I mean, it's going on. Period. It's
right.
just this is in a public light.
Right.
But think of like my issues. Like I was molested by my uncle, and it's like nobody did anything or wanted to do anything
right.
about it. Wanted to believe me to put it under the rug, but they had their issues that they didn't deal with.
That's right.
Like I heard one of the family members was the rent payment, so it's just like, okay,
you got to deal with that.
Deep, you know.
Yeah,
so like the issues just keep going on from generation to generation. So this is just happening on a higher scale.
So I feel like
this
those
happens
moms,
in a lot of families,
right? And those moms had their unresolved issues, and that's why they felt like it was okay to do that with their daughters because I don't like to use the word normal because I don't know what normal really is, and I don't know what the hell that is. But someone with understanding of what a parent is to a child wouldn't put their child in a position like that because as Bernadette was, I came from a family too whose uncle molested me as a child. And I was the one of all these generations to bust that wide open in my family. So when I open my mouth, it goes back so far into Trinidad. It's disgusting. And I'm like, so why did this even happen to me? Why couldn't anybody before me say something? But it stopped with me. It stopped because it never happened to my children. You understand what I'm saying? So I stopped that. So if you want to be the voice and you need things to happen, you have to say stuff. There's no shame base for me because I'm a child. No one should be abusing me as a child. I didn't ask to be here. I'm supposed to be protected and loved, not this.
Right.
You understand? So something's happening with those parents. My automatic instinct as a parent, even with my son, nobody's to touch you and nobody's to make you feel uncomfortable. These are the conversations you have with your children. But when your mother is your pimp, that's a different story.
It's a different story.
And when they don't deal with their trauma, they cannot help. They're not in a position to help you deal with your trauma.
Which is true. So, which is true. But I also say, like, again, so our parents' era, their parents' era, and their parents, a lot of things were swept under the rug because it was like the rent payer, or this is the person that's bringing food in the house, or this is where you have to go and be babysat because mommy cannot watch you. I have to go to work. I have to. So I was molested myself, so I know the experience. So it's and I never blamed my parents because I never did. But as I got older, I understood like, oh, y'all didn't know how to be parents. You didn't know how to be parents because your parent probably treated you a certain way because her mom or dad probably treated her a certain way. And eventually, when you start to have kids, you have to learn to break the cycle.
Right. And I did blame my mom, and I feel like I still have issues in relationships because she was a part of that victimization, and she made me end up in that same place with her lack of protection. Because in those instances where mothers were pimping their daughters, she was doing. It was neglectful. So leaving me in a neglectful situation and not making me safe put me in the position that you were already in. So I feel like for me, my instinct to protect came in.
A little different.
For her instinct to not even protect and just be neglectful, that was the way she dealt with it. And that for me is your fault. Because if you would have protected me and put me in better positions, because you dropped me to a place, the same place with the same man. You took me from one state to another to go about your business and leave me there. Why? You know the type of person that he was.
But so for me, right? When you mention that, that's why I say sometimes what you know better, you do better.
Right.
And sometimes people don't know how to deal with that news.
So maybe it's
but you should.
Your mind never happened.
Yeah.
I said that's mental health stuff. That's some different conversation. We know that.
That goes into our field.
Our field.
It goes into
that we know that. Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because maybe it may shift. It may just shift.
No. Because I don't. There's other things that have occurred very recently, but to protect other people,
you don't say anything.
And I know that you're just shit when it comes to protection.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
there's that.
And it's okay. Because me and Bernadette discuss it all the time. It's okay to understand that sometimes our parents' elevators don't go all the way to the top.
And they stick.
And it sticks, and they don't want to do the work. And they stay there.
And this is why it's important you have an outlet.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I'm not even mad. You know, I'm not mad. But as I'm now speaking my truth, it triggers the very same people that didn't deal with it. So now I'm seen as a black sheep because I just want to talk about my truth because there's a lot of other young ladies suffering.
And maybe how it affected me.
Right.
If you listen to like my first podcast with the co-host that was on, this is one of the topics that I brought up because I feel like it makes a young woman promiscuous. Absolutely. People use the term, excuse me, she's a whore, she's a hoe. And I'm just like, I see a lot of women, and I know that when they have a lot of partners, that's not the route I go. Like, because if I have the conversation with them, it's, I was molested. I was abused. I was penetrated. And a family member knew. And it was just something that happened, and I was continued to be dropped off. Everybody swept it under the rug because either he was feeding, either he was paying the rent, he kept a roof over our heads. He made something, or she made something, because I think people forget that women molest children too. Make something go around for these families in order for them to cope. To make things easier in life when times were hard, per se. But again, back to what I was going to mention with, that's great that you have an outlet, at least you and Bernadette can. Yeah,
we have a relationship that we can definitely speak about that, and I think it's easier for me and Bernadette because we work through those things already. So it's easy for us to sit here where somebody can have total anxiety and probably bust out in the sweat. We can just have a conversation because we work through some of those things already, you know? And it's easier. Because I remember when her mom came on her thing and was like, totally like blasting her, like, what the hell? You know, like this is recent, like really coming out her face with her because she's saying things. What do you mean?
Her truth.
Her truth is bothering you, but her truth is her truth.
And I didn't mention her.
She didn't mention her. She didn't say anything about her.
Felt the way.
But you should because you haven't dealt with some things.
And you're a mommy.
And you need to go deal with your own stuff. Don't be mad at her.
Too, and that's true too. Parents don't have. It's like they tell you go drink a cup of tea and lay down. That's not going to solve the issue.
Oh my God!
Can't
I just
Band-Aids
know
over open
you
wounds.
can't put Band-Aids on bullet wounds. That's what they say. I don't know, but I just know that for me, I know that I stopped that cycle through my children. My children do not have the same story just now.
That's amazing.
And I needed that to end here. And I know that sometimes we have to endure things, and we always wonder why. The endurance was so that I had clear vision on what it was that I needed to do to protect my own children. Because I could have been blindsided by someone, something, some uncle, you know, totally not knowing if I wasn't in that position. And my daughter or my son could have been put into a very bad position because I just didn't know. So I feel like I was empowered in some sense.
And sometimes we have the best intentions to protect our children, but sometimes we just can't protect everything. Because I had a family member try it with my oldest child.
Still.
No. This and this is a very close family member. And they tried it, but me, knowing, thank goodness he has no recollection of it at all because he was 3. But I took him to therapy. I took him to therapy right away.
Yep.
And people was laughing at me. I took him to therapy because I didn't want to come out of my face to him in my way. Like, let a professional. They got professional counselors, therapists that talk to children in a certain way. And I took him to therapy for a couple of weeks, just to let them talk to him about inappropriate touch, and just in that professional light. So it's like, no matter how much you try to protect your children, sometimes you just can't do everything. But once you find out what's going on, you can take the proper steps to ensure that they don't suffer with any trauma from it. Like when I had to go to therapy, I went on my own.
I did too.
You know, like we had to go on our own.
I did too.
But you know,
and it wasn't easy
as a parent, my parent, if they were in total like acknowledgement of what happened to me, that would have been the first thing you would have done. You would have took me to therapy as a kid to deal with that. You know?
But you see, that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to like our parents, they're not knowledgeable of certain things. That's why I feel like all that stuff with generational curses, what people say, at some point you have to be the individual to break that curse. You cannot have that continue. Great great topic as far as therapy. I lost my daughter and I self-medicated by just going to school and burying myself in school. So when I buried myself in school, I didn't know that, not that I was only just depressed, I was suffering from anxiety and postpartum. And I just like wasn't aware of like that's what was going on. And I was like angry, I was happy, I was sad, and it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna write a paper.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm just gonna do this homework online. School was just like it was a thing to do, and I did it for 3 years. So that was in the span of that, and then like
to not face what the feelings were, so you can be busy.
I think my mind automatically just did that. It just forced me into like this.
That was her drug.
It's disconnected for protection.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty much just, your mind will do that to you. That we do have a lockbox. I think people have to
that's the truth.
Know that there's a box in your brain that takes your trauma and it holds it there, but it doesn't hold it for long because then you start to spell. Yeah. So what happened is I was just always angry, and I just wasn't correlating like what's wrong. I had to go back to work after losing the baby, still dealing with babies, still putting on this whole face, and friends was having kids and come to my baby shower or even a funeral or things like that. Still it was triggering me. I wasn't.
They still trigger me.
Aware, like know what I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Even now it does, but I know how to deal. Yeah. At that time, I wasn't aware. Right. I went through 12 therapists till I found the right one because I was thinking, they were wrong. So again, I always tell people your therapist will take you to your darkest places first, and then bring you back to life. So you can deal. So instead of me taking accountability and saying it's you, I went through that. And you know what I ended up doing? I literally wrote a card to each and every last one of them, just apologizing. When I finally found one, and she was so stern. Saying he was me, so stern, and was like, no, the problem is not anybody else, it's you. And you gotta deal. And we're gonna have to deal today. And she said, how are you in social services and you can't sit on my couch?
Wow. I just voluntarily went to therapy because I was re-traumatized through something else with my family and didn't realize it was putting me. I discussed it with Bernadette, but I didn't realize that therapy was making me feel like I needed more therapy because they started.
Scary.
Oh God! I was like, this thing making me more anxious. I
was like, no, it's not working.
Real diagnosis. I was PTSD. I have not major depression, mild depression. And anxiety.
I was on medication.
And I have the period thing.
Part of my weight.
That thing that makes me a monster. I'm telling people, stop, kill. And I thought I was crazy because it keeps happening to me. I'm documenting it. Every month I'm going like a lunatic. I want to kill.
That's why I came off medication.
I don't have medication.
I was on, and that was one of my reasons why I had to come off.
I'm not on medication, but I have to realize that I've had so much trauma in the last 4 years. And I really wasn't identifying.
But it's not even the last 4 years.
No, just my whole life. But it just was
things that you haven't dealt with on top of what your 4 years were.
And then in that time frame, something came up that took me all the way back to 10. So the shit was crazy. And how to come in here just to function. You don't know that people are going through so many things.
That's why I always say, listen, be kind. Because it would take one trigger and... I'm gonna be that black girl on television, handcuffed, saying she just.
No, but people are we all are dealing with things and we're professionals. So when people come into us, even though they're snappy and they have their attitude, it's systems. They're tired. And we have to know that. They're just tired. It's systematic and they're tired. So we're a part of that system. So they're not always the happiest to see us. So it's the energy we give them that's going to make us give them give us the correct energy back. So I don't come into a situation with a woman that just sat in path for the whole day and be like, give me that. That's not the way to address that because I don't know what she's going to do and why she even went there. Some of it, we know is bullshit, and some of it is real.
I mean, I've sat down and heard some really disheartening.
Right. So we have to be careful what we say and how we approach people, even through our own stuff.
Yeah. But that's where accountability starts.
Right. And that's the great thing about therapy because I've done years of therapy as well, on and off. They don't give you solutions.
No.
They don't give you have to literally sit there.
You wanted to because the case manager, we're gonna solve the problem.
It's kind of like what I do. I solve the problem. Solve my problem.
And that's the misconception about therapy therapy. People think that a therapist is gonna just like give you all the answers. They're not. You talk your way through your problem.
Right.
They just take it and word it in a nice little professional.
But it's kind of going through school and like me. I have case act training, so I'm like a case actee, so with drug addiction and mental health. Right. You're just rewording things and just putting it right back on their lap. So all they were doing was giving us accountability. Like she said the first time, like you have to be accountable for this stuff. This is you. So we're just nicely putting it on their lap and resting it there. And after a few times, they're gonna keep seeing what's happening. Hopefully, the light bulb will go off.
I was using the word accountable a lot in therapy, and she would just throw it back at me. And I'd be like, but okay, all right. After I realized, and I was earning my master, which was my master's. And I think learning that I was going through postpartum, that's when I learned like that was like my hardest experience ever. I don't know. I want to say I don't know the distinction if my master's was really hard or it was the depression, the anxiety, and then the postpartum all piled up in one. I think I was like a walking bomb, just waiting for anything. But then it was also my faith. Like I prayed, like I leaned on God. You know, I thank God for my mom because I don't know where I would be. She prays over me. She prays with me. If I call and I'm like, listen, I have an issue, she'll tell me this and turn this Bible scripture, play this thing on YouTube, and then my best friend sent me like a whole like care package, but it was like sage and Palo Santo and like burning certain candles, and it changed my whole like I hated lavender until my last year of what I hated it. I hated the smell. I hated everything about it, the color, until my last year of my last semester, I want to say, of my master's. And she sent me something, and I just was like, well, this makes me feel better. Eucalyptus, you know, I learned to transfer my energy. And because of my therapist, and because of one thing she said to me where I knew I had to stick with her was I was walking out her door after a session, and she was like, Siobhan, always remember your mental health is important. And she said, you're the individual, you like to help, it seems like everyone comes to you for advice, but if you're not together, you cannot be worthy to anyone else. So your mental health is important. And that's why I stuck with her for one. And accountability. I started to hold myself accountable, and not only that, I learned to apologize to me. Because I was blaming myself for things I really had no control over. Like, you know, I was like, damn, how do you lose a baby? And that's the one thing that God put you on earth to do.
Wow, that was rough.
You lose your child. So I'm
to say to yourself.
Yeah.
It's your self-talk.
Self-talk. So I had to apologize to me. I had to apologize to the younger me. I had to apologize to the part of my life where I wasn't verbal when I should have been. And, you know, now.
and that's a huge reason why I'm very open and transparent, because at a time where I wasn't, I kept everything. Like, I was the type of person that I would not speak up for myself. I would just like hold things in just because I didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings or trying to impress somebody. So this is like what had led to my suicide attempt, you know, back in 2000, 2001. I don't remember the day it was, but I'm
here.
Yeah, I'm happy I'm here too.
Imagine. No heard of that.
No, for real. Like, you're really dope in real life. So I'm happy that you're here.
So I was really like, I just didn't want to talk to anybody because fear of being judged. I was raised in the church and all that other stuff, so I didn't really have anybody there. I had no outlet, I had no nothing.
And living your life for everyone else but you.
Yeah, and at this time, I didn't even have children.
Trust.
People watching that.
Yeah.
Just preventative
214. No life.
Hi everyone.
Oh, people are talking.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, that's Stephanie. Intermission. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. What is Stephanie?
Oh, Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. She said y'all gonna make her cry. Yeah. So, you know, going back to what I was saying, like, you definitely need that outlet. You know, And this is, like I said, like, I don't share everything, but for the most part, I share everything.
I share. I overshare sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Only because I don't know what position that somebody else is in.
Right.
Very
and
helpful.
It helps people. Like, you don't even understand little things I sprinkle here and there. And even though people may not leave a comment, I get that, like a lot of messages. Oh my gosh, that was for me. I needed that today. Yes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're talking about this because this is exactly what I'm going through. So a lot of times when I'm talking about my situation, I'm not talking about it just to make me look some way. I'm talking about it because I know somebody else is dealing with it. Because I dealt with it. Like, in everything that we deal with, we're not alone.
No,
Somebody's always going through it. Whether and I don't want to say it can be worse or it can be better because
I hate that.
I don't like that either.
I don't like
because
that.
My theory on that is that what's bad for you, I may be able to just walk through it and breeze, or what's bad for me, you may be able to handle it with ease. And I always tell people, never ever say it could be worse. Because maybe for you that is your worst.
Right.
I don't think people should judge traumas. And I think that you should, even minute, as being a mom, I had to learn that because my son put that in my face when it concerned my daughter, like minimizing. Because I think she's emotional. So I would minimize, like, come on with, but I can't minimize the way someone else is feeling.
You can never tell someone else how to feel.
And I have fault in that. I've done that. I'm very mindful now. I do not do that anymore.
I've lost people over that. You can't tell people how to feel.
Right.
Yeah, and I used to be very hard. I'm softer now. I grew up to be a
I think it's your experience too. Things that you've experienced. I don't think. It is what you've experienced to make you that person. And I'll say this before we deviate to any other conversation. I am very thankful for my experience because it's made me. I'm going on 37. So I want to say, like, it's in my 30s. I'm in love with me, like really in love with me. Because I used to say before, like, oh, I love me. No, I'm really in love with me. I'm in tune with me. I know who I am. I know my purpose. I know the life that I want to walk in. I know the shoulders that I want to rub. I know the circle and the energy that I want around me, and I think it's important as people. I know because sometimes we always direct it to women, but men too. Just to be in tune with you, date you. Go out with you. Spend time with you. Read a book.
I'm reading a book.
No, seriously. I think people. No, read a book.
No, I always read a book.
No, not you. We're speaking.
No, just tell everyone. Read a book.
Read a book.
You're
like,
right.
Pick up a book, and if you don't know which book, ask suggestions. Like, just see what's a good read for anyone that's around, like within company of you, because that also, and you learn to speak better. It enhances your vocabulary, and it also is enlightening you to other prospects of the world, and and being able to just engage.
And I want to say that I am very grateful. Like, I've come to this place, and like you said, just falling in love. I used to say I love myself too, but I think because when you think back at, like, maybe the damage that you inflicted on yourself, like, that was love. Like, what was that? Like, girl, go on with that shit. But but it's my gratefulness. Like, I'm grateful every day. Like, there's always something to be grateful for. And if we tap into that gratefulness, we will continue to feel wonderful and still love ourselves. Because when you come in this place of unhappiness, because it comes,
of course,
think about all the things you have to be so grateful for. And I feel like my heart of gratefulness is what keeps me sane, is what keeps me happy, and keeps me loving myself. I love my children differently. I love myself differently. And I have, like, met along my journey, and you and Bernadette are one of them, like, dope women in real life. Like, I'm gonna cry. Like, really, because you can just be who you are. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to act, you're just who you are. And you're just good being who you are.
And you always have to be who you are. No
Absolutely.
matter what.
I like being Siobhan.
Like, I don't want to be anybody else. Like, everybody else is fucking taken. I don't want nobody.
Just a little weight gain. That probably is the fat. The last year I'm gonna be fat though. But I like being Siobhan.
That's right.
Yeah. We're gonna jump more.
And people that love me for me, and once you're in that space, you the energy that you attract is amazing, and so far it's been great.
And you know what you realize? You don't have the energy for the shit. So you
Jesus,
kind of
no.
just the shit just kind of like rolls away after a while.
Sometimes I just remind people like I'm not pussy. I just don't have time. But I still beat you up.
I don't have the energy. I don't even want to fight. It's like break my nail. Like I spend a lot of money.
Yeah, like come on. I don't want. Jail is. I can never go back to jail. Like
no time for that. Orange, green stripes. They don't look good.
I want to go back ever.
Yellow.
I don't want nobody handcuffs, no bracelets, unless them shits is Pandora.
We over that. No, over it. Really. Every time I think about it, I be like, it's not even worth it. You're not worth it.
No.
Yeah. You know.
And I think everybody has to get into that space again. Mental health is important. Empowerment and accountability. I'm probably going to say this a lot. You have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to hold people around you accountable. Stop with the she's just like that, he's just like that behavior. You got to check people because give you an inch, they'll slide, skateboard, all that. You have to just
run, jump, hop, all of it.
Hold your friends accountable, especially if that's your friend, that's somebody you want in your life.
Yeah.
Be honest with me. I don't like what you did. I don't like what you said. It doesn't have to. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. Not because you should. You could. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, my son asked me in a conversation because we always talk about stuff, and he was like, "How you know when you really love yourself?" And I was like, "Because the things you do for yourself are always going to serve you. When things do not serve you, you do not want them anymore. That's when you know you don't have time anymore. Like certain things I would do in certain places, I'm not even interested.
No.
I'd be like, look, and not because you feel like you're better than or whatever. You're just moving away from that place. You have other goals and targets that you need to meet. So you're more interested in that. You're not really interested in that other stuff. So I said, when you start loving yourself, you understand what serves you. And you'll be okay.
We're like books. We have chapters.
Yeah.
We're like ships. We sail. So if you're not on that wave, it's okay.
It's okay.
We've had that experience, and I think people, it's really hard for some people to let go. You have to understand that people are really in your life. Sometimes reason and seasons. It's not.
You can't get
everything is not meant to be, and it's supposed to be a lesson sometimes. And if sometimes God will continue that lesson and continue that person in your life, and you will continue to hit those barriers and those dead ends because you are supposed to let go.
Yeah.
And that goes for them niggas y'all keep holding on to.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But
I think we all been there. Like,
like, let it go.
Get out of here.
You are first. You're important. You cannot help your kids. Nope. You can't help your mom, sister, friend, cousin. If
you're not raising a better family,
you're doing nothing. You just continue that whole generational nonsense of a curse.
Yeah. And you're not really teaching your children how to be strong. Because when I think about all the reasons why I stayed in my marriage until they came to get me to get out of that marriage, I stayed for all the wrong reasons. I wasn't there teaching them shit. I wasn't, like as I'm on my own and was single and, living my life again, my life back together, my children saw not the mom that was home in this suburban life and giving, they saw like, my mom was getting it. Like, non-stop. This is what a black woman does. This is what she does for her family and her children. By all means necessary. Anything she wants to do. Like, I didn't stay in a bad relationship. I stayed in a bad relationship thinking I couldn't do all those things. Does that make sense? Like, I couldn't be a single parent to these two damn children. Like, I don't even know how to single parent. No, as soon as I was a single parent, I knew how to do everything I said I couldn't do. I knew how to do it 10 times better than I even thought I could have did it. We tell ourselves the wrong story. Mindset. Yeah, we tell ourselves the wrong story. I was telling myself I couldn't do this. What? I did that with ease, with breeze. But I did seek therapy for my daughter because divorce is real. Separation of families are real. And they're traumatizing. So when I knew this would occur, I had to get therapy for my kid. Like, you don't raise with your parents your whole life and all of a sudden you pull apart and think that's not traumatizing. That shit is trauma. So we really have to know that Bernadette says that we can have Jesus and we can have therapy. Like, we can have them both.
But I think our culture, I want to just say black people all together.
I just want to say.
We don't even follow up a regular primary care.
I do.
As a whole,
I do as a whole.
As a whole, as our people, we don't.
Yeah.
That's why
I come from a medical background family. Yeah.
That's why so many things are wrong with us today. Yeah. And because we don't follow up, we don't follow through, or we assume, I don't need that. I could just talk to homeboy over here, but
boy, let's see you drink something.
Yeah, or drink tea.
Drink tea. Drink this bush, drink that bush.
Or when you tell somebody in your family that's like really old, you have an issue, and they be like, oh, nothing new. We've all been through it. No, we haven't. Because the way you deal with your trauma or whatever you experience is not the same as mine. Everything doesn't go in the same bottle.
Right. And let's take it to the kids. Talking about Black people being in denial and have this stigma. A lot of children are dealing with issues, whether it be ADHD, whether it be autism. It's a huge stigma.
It is.
And there's a lot of kids out here that need help. But parents are just in that whole denial phase. It's like, okay, they'll grow out of it. Oh, nothing's wrong. Oh, they're trying to kill off our Black boys. I was just listening to a podcast this morning by somebody I respect, and he was mentioning how he had the highest rate of people on ADHD. They get medication. Our Black boys are trying to give all the kids, and it kind of rubbed me, like what he was saying, how he got some kid into the program, was like, stop taking your medication, and he stopped, and he did better. Like, as a parent, it rubbed me the wrong way. Because,
that's his story. That's not
right.
his story.
That's not.
But this is the thought that this is what I'm hearing a lot of people say and do, and it's like being spread online and being talked about, and it's just like, I'm sitting here because I've battled this for I've battled this for several years. I didn't want my kid on medication for several years. I sat and played and flip-flopped and but it's like I wasn't doing him any justice. And I think there's a huge misconception about ADHD, and this is, even though I'm very vocal about autism because it's more, I guess, acceptable, like ADHD, it's a thing. It's a real thing, and
in adults and children.
Yeah, in adults and
I
children.
have adult ADHD.
Yeah, and some adults.
I want to say I have a touch of my aunt who told that a long time ago.
After diagnosis.
I want to ask you something though, because yesterday you posted you forgot to give him his medication, but he went to school.
Yeah, this is the old boy. Yeah,
right. But what was his behavior?
Basically, for him, it's really not the behavior. This is like the huge misconception. So people see kids running, they're like, "Oh, that child got ADHD." No, but ADHD is more about they don't get that on that crazy
slow as that. Kids in the Hey, what you learn today, Nathan?
That's funny. But ADHD is more about focus. So like,
was he able to function still?
My son plays the flute. My son does sports. My son does everything that he needs to do in addition to getting his 90s and 100s.
Awesome.
Now, if I didn't have him on his medication, his focus would be so jacked up that he'd be bringing home 65. So I tell parents, like, if your child cannot focus in school, and like, because I think my son started taking medicine like in 2nd grade. The teachers always told me he was a little bit active and things like that. And then there was like some things going on at home. He was very impulsive towards his brothers, But then in school, like, was just a hot mess. And I gave him, and then I'm like, no, I don't want it. Then I gave it, and then I'm like, I don't want it. And then finally a case was called on me. He lied to the people.
Talking truth.
He lied to the people. He said I beat him with a jump rope.
That was his truth.
You might have threatened me to jump off that day.
That was his truth.
I had diapers in my house, in my refrigerator, like, damn.
Feed him.
So like, I had my
ACS workers.
Eat them.
Ooh, the case was unfounded, y'all. But I had my issues with the on and off with the medicine, and finally I saw that it actually works, and he takes his medicine, and he's in school, he's achieving his things, he's doing his activities, he's still active, he still run through my house like he's playing basketball in 2.5 seconds, so it doesn't stop my child from being a kid, it just helps him focus. Like, I can tell the difference in his school, like how he writes his homework in his in school. I can tell the difference from when he took it and when he didn't take it. Like, it's just crazy. And like, my child, he takes his medication on Monday through Friday. He doesn't take it in the summer. He doesn't take it on the weekend. He doesn't take it when he's off of school, because the reasoning for him taking it per se was for him to focus. He's been on the same dosage for several years now.
So you want to hear my opinion?
Yeah.
You just need it?
No.
Oh.
My opinion is, why are they teaching our children in the same method that they've been teaching us since we were children? Everything is too fast. these children are on computers, they're on TVs. There's this set of light, motion, and fastness that is happening to them, and then you want them to sit in the class and look at the teacher all day.
Right.
We need to learn how to teach them differently so that we can keep up with all the other things we have going on in their lives. So I don't know if it's necessarily the ADHD for the children, or do the damn teachers need to keep up. You need to do something else. You need to be more active. There's something needs to keep. Something is wrong.
My hope for high school is that we can like wean him off. Like
we're not doing enough to keep these children focused either. Like I'm in class, I'm a grown up, and I'm sitting in class, and the professor talking, and I'm like, this is where my ADHD comes in, and I'm like, shut.
I was like, wait.
I can't sit, I can't focus, I can't even look at the professor. I'm shifting. I'm sitting here eating nuts just because I've been doing something what's going on. So why am I mad at like a 9-year-old? You need to figure out another way to get these kids engaging them.
Right.
Is that the word I'm looking for? Differently, because our times are different. Don't be writing on no damn board. You wrote on the board when I was 2. Like, stop. This is 40 years later.
Provide like iPads to do the work.
Get them up to date, ma'am. And if you're in a bad neighborhood and don't have no money, your children might not have that.
No, not my.
Okay, so we need to discuss those things, but that's another topic.
But that's parents who fight for their kids too.
They need to show up and know who they're electing.
They'll have better lunches. They'll have those things in school.
Please vote. Know what's going on in your community
and know who's in your and who's running
your community. We have to.
I don't fully blame the parents.
I don't fully blame the parents, but I do know.
You know, we struggle.
Our teaching systems have to change a little too.
Of course.
And I don't think it's about high school. Because sometimes, you know, a child is not even aware of what's going on. So, like my son, he's aware of why he takes the medicine. And he's aware of, now that he's getting older, he's aware of how it makes him feel. And he wants to come off, and I've tried several times to send him to school without, and then I get the phone call.
And they be like, nah, this isn't working.
So
we got to work there.
You need to be on this shit while you're in class.
But my hope really for by the time he gets to high school is that maybe he'll have more control over it, where he can know, okay, this is the time now I need to focus. But at this stage, I don't want to put my son's education in jeopardy because of my biases. Because I feel I don't want him. Like, I don't want him on medication. He don't want to be on medication. But he understands the value of what it does for him. But also, too, I'm not going to abuse it. Because I know some parents that are probably on the weekend like, okay, I don't do it. He literally, and his doctors already know, this is it, Monday through Friday for school. They even want him to take a half a pill when he gets home from school. We don't do that. We just give him his medicine for school. He's going to have to do his homework on his own turn. He's going to have to learn how to focus.
But you're like training him almost like, I have to learn to focus.
I just want to do what, like I said, just for school. But y'all got to do what's right for y'all kids.
When you figure it out, every child is an individual. Don't go just by what a doctor says. Do your own personal. You did a lot of work. You educated yourself, like she said, to read something. Don't just look. If your child is 2 and does not have a 50-word vocabulary, you need to be. You need to know. Something is happening. Let's not be like, oh, he's a baby and he's so spoiled. Stop it. Stop being ignorant.
Early intervention does
we know that our children should be at a certain place. Baby talk to these people like they're grown. These are people. These are men and women.
It improves their vocabulary.
Yeah, like don't do that, and that's not okay. Like you need to take accountability as a parent to educate yourself enough. And when somebody says something's going on with your child, just don't listen to what they say. Pay attention. Try to figure out what's happening. Just because the doctor says, like let's do the work. Let's be active.
And that's too another form of grief. When I was thinking about it earlier, because everybody wants a normal child. So when your child comes and there's something different, and I deal with this a lot with autism moms, like their child, they have to let go of what their child could be. So maybe if their child is a boy, maybe if he's on the lower end of the spectrum, he might not be able to have a relationship. He may not have a child. So it's like grieving. It's guilt. It's a lot of things too at that parent, because I had to go through that. You know, in my beginning phases when I didn't even know
what was going on,
what autism was, or what was going on. I had to go through that. I had to work through that, and then to have another child, they tell me the same thing. It's like, okay, this again. Okay, is there a problem with me? Like, you know, so it's a thing that we have to go through and work through and stuff like that all the time as well. So
in that way.
But I suggest, like, as a woman, if you encounter situations like that, like with your child, find someone who has the same situation.
Right.
Learn to put yourself amongst people that can help you and give you better guidance, because we don't know everything and we're going to feel a lot of things, and don't feel guilty for those feelings, because you're not the only one feeling them.
But it's still a process because it's something different.
Yeah, but don't do it alone.
Right, don't.
Try to
You don't
engage
have
with
to.
someone. Yeah, you don't
There's
ever
too many
have to do
outlets.
these things
You don't have to do
alone.
anything alone. There's too many outlets for
And this
just
is,
about
this
everything.
This is
that
why
you're going
I'm
through.
so open and talking about it, because a lot of times people don't know who to talk to. Like when I was going through, I didn't know who to talk to. Like I was just
you be like, boom,
crying many nights. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is why I've done thousands of videos, hundreds of videos, because people just come into your inbox like, oh, thank you for sharing. Even people that might not even come. Like I had somebody, I do like videos. I don't talk about the ADHD that much. Like I talk about autism more. But I used to do. I think I did like one video like last year, just like a couple of weeks ago. Somebody was like, oh, I just want to talk to you about ADHD. Because it's like they know who that go-to person is. So this is, another reason why I'm so kind of open, because a lot of parents just don't know. Or they don't know who to talk to. They're ashamed. They don't have support from their family, their friends. They just don't know what to do. So.
Well, that's a shame. I just understand that there's an outlet for everything it is
Every
that
situation
you are facing. And being ashamed gets you nowhere. It only hurt your child and you. You got to do what's best for whatever works for you. Like, agree. Bernadette has a great page. She's very active in her kid's life, and she's always posting. If you need to know something, the information is there. Shoot, if you don't even want to listen to that, Google. The internet is your friend.
Free.
It's free.
YouTube, Google, podcasts. This is all there.
Protect your child, because then you're sending your child off to be with people who doesn't even understand what's going on with your kids. And there's people who are conditioned and certified to deal with children in this manner. And if you're sending them to regular public school, it's not going to work, because it's the teachers and it's the students, and then your child automatically is bad. When that's
we
not
had
the
that
case.
discussion in here with a parent, and Bernadette had to redirect the parent in the situation concerning charter school and the needs that they do not provide for your children with special needs. And it's like people have this idea or impression about a certain thing of education, but when you have a child that is different, that needs another level of care, you have to put that child in a better situation as the parent. And there we go back to real parenting, real safety, real guidance. It's your job to align those things for your child. So she had to totally redirect her, and through experience she knew exactly what was happening. Like, they're going to make it about behavior when your child really doesn't have a behavior issue. How is her child 4 years old and a threat to the school? Stop it with this foolishness. She's 4. Something else is happening. It's not, she's behaving like that because she's missing something.
She's acting
and
out.
I want our parents, and I hate to hear it because I hear it all day working in this environment, that this child is so bad.
Right.
Stop telling your children that they are bad. You are giving these children these negative words and telling them, especially our sons, that they're so bad. No, he's so lovely. He's like sunshine. Oh my! Speak life into these kids.
And this is why when parents and their children are about to turn 2, everybody have this whole terrible 2. I'm like, no, terrific 2s.
Yeah, stop.
They be like,
change the narrative.
I'm like, no, terrific 2s.
Change your narrative.
They just be
we have
who
to
they
stop
are.
saying that, because
You have to
they
give
believe that
your
they're bad
child.
too. You know that, right?
Yeah, because
They be like, oh, I'm so bad. And I have to say that because I used to say my daughter's so lazy. Like, you're like queen lazy. Like, you're lazy ass. And I'm like, you know what? I keep telling her that she believes that she is. But yet, when she had a job, she's like up early. Remember I told you, I was like, oh my God, I think I got to get up and wake her up? No. She's on her job. She's gone. She's out the door. She's doing what she has to do. I'm telling her that. Stop telling her that. Yeah, so I take blame in that too, huh?
Accountability.
Yeah, like I have to know that I had to stop. Let me stop telling her that. And then, I just change the word, and I deal with her a little different when I have to yell. I do have to cuss. Yes, I do. I have to just focus on what that situation is. Don't generalize. Don't start throwing, because you start throwing in. She ain't washed the dishes, and I'm throwing in the bedroom, the bathroom. You start just going in everywhere, because that's what we do. That's what we do. So I have to let's focus on this thing, this one thing here, and get it done, and let's move forward. Yeah, because we start to throw in all kind of shit, making it bigger than really things are. But we need to really change our narrative and stop. I am guilty of, but I work on it, so I'm mindful.
Work on your accountability.
No, but I am. I'm
Parenting
mindful.
is a learning on the book job.
Yeah, it doesn't come in the book.
You're always going to learn something.
Do you guys consider parenting as a job, or you consider it as parenting?
I think that
because there was a whole argument about this.
I don't know. I feel like this.
It is a job.
I don't know if it's really a job, but I feel like I'm a parent forever.
Right.
I never. It doesn't stop. I am a parent now of a young adult male and a young adult female. I no longer have small children, so I'm in a different phase of parenting, and I'm not their friends, but I'm friendly enough to have conversation. I'm an open mom. I'm a more conservative mom, cool mom, but not too cool that I won't chop you in the neck mom. Yeah, like they know that already. Like you could be so cool, but communication is key, and our kids need their voice. And I feel like as parents, I'm Caribbean child, American Caribbean child, and I took my voice.
Right.
Nobody gave me that voice.
No,
Oh God, Gil. I took that voice. Like you couldn't shut me up. Like you crazy. Like it didn't come from it was who I was. It was like I didn't get boxed in the mouth enough times. You know, like sucking my teeth. Like I was that kid. You understand? So I was born with my voice, and I'm happy that I have my voice. My mom didn't have a voice, you know?
Like
so
me.
so I am nothing like her. You meet my mom and she's like so quiet and nice, and you're like, what the fuck she get this child from? It's true. But my daughter is like quiet and calm, and my son, he's very talkative, but I'm aggressive. I'm very
I didn't have a voice. Not until like recently.
Really?
Maybe which is surprising, right?
I'm working on Bernadette's voice though.
People would be surprised. Yeah, people are surprised. Like you never spoke up. Never.
I can't tell the way you damn speak.
Now you can't play with me.
Really?
But I had to get there. Yeah, I had to get there. That's what I said. Sometimes, especially with trauma and being molested, I kept it quiet.
I had to tell.
Yeah.
There was a bubble in my gut. Like I had to tell, and which was odd. I told my father.
No.
I had to tell.
Not to like my adult years, I said something.
Wow, that shit was bubbling in my gut. I had to tell from a teenager. I had to be like, yo, Dad, I want to tell you something. And I felt almost like, will you be mad at me? Because that's what I asked him. He was like, we were talking about. He was like, I just want to tell you something, but I want to know, are you going to be mad at me? And he was like, nah, just tell me what you want to tell me. Because I felt like that communication was always better for me. My dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, remember, communication is not there.
Yeah.
That's why I said sometimes parents, that's what you have to be. New era parents is totally different. I could say today, parents are probably having better conversations with their children as opposed to when I grew up.
Yeah.
When we grew up. Like, that wasn't, what you gonna talk about?
Yeah.
No, we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't talk about that. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have Caribbean
You sure that happened? That didn't happen.
Yeah. But my father really didn't take it that way. He was very hurt and blamed himself.
And remember what Bernard said, everything you can do to protect your child, you can do whatever you feel like you're doing. You're not really 100% protecting your child because you don't have your kid with you 100%.
I think that there are a few words in my life that I understand that are not real. I want to say forever. I want to say normal. And I want to say safety. Those words really aren't real. What really is forever?
Or your situation really could be worse.
Safe. And what's really normal.
Yeah, what's normal?
Yeah, like I don't like when people use that. I'm like, oh, and then normal. I'm like, what is that? Explain normal to me, because I don't know what normal is. Because I'm so damn different from normal. Okay. Far from normal. If you want to say normal, no, I'm not normal. Like I'm half crazy, like there's a lot of things going on inside of this body. I know I couldn't be normal with all this shit going on.
Yes, I don't fall into that category.
Yeah, what's tradition? Please excuse me.
Yeah, I'm not that either.
Like I don't even know what that.
I'm okay with that.
Like I'm good with it. So I don't forever. I don't know what forever is. Safety? Are we ever really safe? We sitting here right now. This whole building could fall down. Yeah. Like true. What safety?
And this is what I tell my kids all the time. When you're leaving the house, when you're going to bed, I love you, good night. Because these could be our last words. We don't know.
It's true. It's so funny. I made a comment to my friend. I said, my mother always sending me a text on WhatsApp. Like she doesn't have, like she lives somewhere in the islands and we're right here. But I said, you know what? I would hate for the day that she's not sending it. And it's a daily thing. Like she sends that, she sends prayers, and good morning. I would hate to never for that. We know people don't live forever, but I would hate for that to be my issue. So yeah, so forever and safe,
normal things.
Love me in the moment.
We need to love more, hate less.
Thank you so long. You have to restart it.
How come you got longer?
Well, anyway, so we're gonna wrap it up. we're gonna wrap it up. So I'm just gonna allow you guys to tell your handles because you guys already know to follow me at Don't Debate Me on Instagram. So Bernadette, what's your handle so they can?
You can find me at Make It Fun NYC, Make It Fun NYC, or you can find me at Bernadette Henry, BERNADETTE Henry. Find me everywhere.
And that's on Instagram and
Facebook. But we'll have everything.
That's
on the other
oh
way.
yeah, she's not handling
Yeah, so I'm Ayana Thomas. I'm Ayana at Bridging the Gap. And then I'm on Another Level Transport 1 on Instagram. I'm anotherleveltransport.com on the website. I'm bridgingthegap.com as a website as well. So you can find me there on those handles, but I'm sure Miss Bernadette will do great by tagging all those things in. And I hope you guys enjoyed speaking to us today.
Yay, thanks for tuning in. We'll have another session sometime, someday soon. Be good. I don't know if you guys have a word, but for me, it is what it is. Whatever it is that you're going through, know that it's not everlasting. Changes come from you. Do not stick in your storm. Lean on God or faith or your Buddha, whoever it is. But just be positive about the situation. Be kind because you never know what it is someone is going through. And that's all I got for y'all today. Thanks for tuning in.
Good closing words.
Bye.